On the day we were supposed to register our marriage, my boyfriend Leo had someone kick me out of the Civil Affairs Bureau and took my childhood friend inside. He looked at me indifferently and said, "Luna's child needs to be registered. After we divorce, I will marry you." Everyone thought that I, the devoted one, would willingly wait for him another month. After all, I had already waited for him 7 years. But that very night, I accepted my family's arrangement for an overseas political marriage and disappeared from his world. 3 years later, I accompanied my husband back to the country to pay respects to our ancestors. My husband had an urgent matter and asked the domestic branch to arrange someone to pick me up. Unexpectedly, I ran into Leo, whom I hadn't seen in 3 years. "You've made enough of a fuss by now, it's time to stop and come back. Luna's child is starting kindergarten, and you're in charge of the pickups and drop-offs." In the arrival hall, I saw someone holding a sign with my English name. When I walked over, I realized it was my ex-boyfriend Leo, whom I hadn't seen in 3 years. He was stretching his head out, looking eagerly inside with Luna and a few good buddies. "Leo, isn't that your sycophant Helena?" Leo was also surprised to see me, but quickly pretended not to care and said, "See, I told you, she would definitely come back obediently." Everyone laughed and looked at me. Helena disappeared without a word back then, and now seeing Leo succeed, she's probably regretting it every day, hiding under the covers and crying. "But Helena, if you want to pretend it's a chance encounter, why did you come dressed in casual clothes? Couldn't you have dressed up a bit? Could it be that without Leo, you can't even afford a decent outfit? You're really living a miserable life now." In the past, whenever I went out to see Leo, I would always wear the most exquisite makeup, choose the most flattering clothes, and show him my best side. But now, it's unnecessary. Because I'm pregnant, my husband doesn't let me wear makeup and tells me to be as comfortable as I want. This casual outfit was specially custom-made for me by someone he found. But after hearing what they said, I understood that they only knew my English name, but didn't know that the person they were supposed to pick up was me. Seeing that I remained silent, someone who used to be quite close to me hurriedly smoothed things over. "Helena, it's good that you're back. Actually, Leo has been looking for you all these years, asking around about you." The smile on Leo's face froze, then he pretended to be casual and said, "Luna's child is about to start kindergarten, so from now on, you'll be responsible for picking him up and dropping him off." Leo was still the same arrogant and self-righteous person. But I was no longer the little girl who always tolerated him back then. Seeing him again, all that remained in my heart was annoyance. Unwilling to waste time with them here and about to reveal my identity, Luna spoke first. "Helena, don't blame Leo. He's doing this to take care of you. After all, you've been gone for 3 years, who knows what you've been up to out there. Now that you're this poor and shabby, he just wants to give you the job of my personal secretary, which you can't even handle. Don't worry, help me take care of my son, and no one will look down on you." 3 years apart, Luna is still so arrogant, still able to make me wrinkle my brow in disgust. Leo mistakenly thought I was jealous and angry for him again, a trace of pride flashing in his eyes. "Enough, if you can't make it outside, why fuss over status? Take good care of the child, stop causing trouble, and recognize your place. Don't worry, my house still has a room for the nanny." As soon as the words fell, the people around immediately burst into malicious laughter. "Helena, look how good Leo is to you. He's afraid you'll suffer outside, so he has arranged your food and accommodation. Isn't it better to just help Luna take care of the kids than your current poor and miserable life? Hurry up and thank Leo." Luna touched her earring and said pretentiously, "Helena, don't worry. If my son is naughty and disobedient, I'll help you discipline him. I won't let you suffer any grievances." Leo snorted and glanced at me. "What grievances does she have? She disappeared over a trivial matter back then, and now that she can't make it on her own, she's back. It's only right she endures some hardship." Hearing those words, my heart skipped a beat. Even now, he still thinks that registering our marriage with Luna is just a trivial matter? The Leo who once loved me no longer exists. He is no longer the boy covered in wounds who carried my injured self across half the city. Nor is he the young man who had nothing but loudly declared his love for me and promised me everything. He is certainly not the man who, having achieved success and fame, was willing to cook for me with gentle hands. But perhaps it's for the best, it's all in the past and better left unspoken. After all, I am about to have my second child. Suppressing my thoughts, I didn't want to waste time bickering with them here, it's pointless. I looked at Leo and said calmly, "Weren't you here to pick me up? Let's go." The room fell silent for a moment, then they exchanged glances and suddenly burst into laughter. Luna sneered coldly, "Wait for you? You wish?" She pointed at the sign, "Look carefully, we are waiting for Helena." "Do you know who she is?" "This is my English name, of course I know. Helena is the lady of the Gu family, the legitimate wife of Ethan Gu. Ethan is a decisive figure in the business world, but he is a hopeless romantic. It is said that he never married for years just to wait for Helena. Everyone in the circle knows that pleasing Ethan is not as good as pleasing Ethan's wife. Ethan's wife is his beloved treasure." Hearing their chattering, a happy smile appeared on my lips. Married for 3 years, Ethan's business has grown bigger and bigger, and his reputation as a wife-pampering maniac has become louder and louder. Luna always wanted to one-up me, never missing a chance to show off in front of me. Back then, Ethan bought a true heart eternal bracelet at Christie's to win his wife's favor, worth $20 million. Ethan's wife is the envy of all women in the world. She paused for a moment, then pointed sharply at my wrist and said, "It's this one." The room suddenly fell silent, and everyone looked at my bracelet. Leo suddenly grabbed my hand, took a quick look, then sneered, "The fake is pretty well made. Which delivery guy bought this for you? Giving a fake as a gift? Trash." I shook off his hand, curled the corner of my mouth, and gently rubbed the bracelet. Seeing the happy smile on my face, Leo's pupils contracted sharply. He suddenly grabbed my wrist and forcefully wiped off the bracelet. I didn't expect this to happen, and he succeeded in one swift move. Luna stepped forward to examine the bracelet, taking it from Leo's hand and playing with it. It is indeed more exquisite than the replica I bought, but I would never wear it out and risk being laughed at. Foreign replicas really are different, the feel is quite good. Or could it be, Helena, that you are Helena, the legendary wife of Ethan? As soon as the words fell, several people around burst into loud laughter. After all, it was too absurd for them to believe. Ethan is a world-renowned financial genius, ruthless and decisive in business. And 3 years ago, I was still hanging out with them, a loser whose marriage certificate was cancelled by Leo. No matter how I think about it, it's impossible. Luna flicked the bracelet on her finger. "Helena, let me have this bracelet, I'll pay double." I was afraid she would break the bracelet, so I hurriedly said, "Give me back the bracelet." Ethan gave it to me. Before I could finish speaking, Leo slapped me so hard that my head turned aside, and blood appeared at the corner of my mouth. "Shut up." Leo looked at me angrily and said, "Helena, do you even know that Ethan's name is not something you can mention? And you dare to spread rumors here about having anything to do with him, are you trying to ruin me?" Leo's good brothers were also indignant and glared at me. "Helena, do you know that the lady who came to pick up Ethan today is someone we fought hard to secure? Leo's company was acquired by Ethan last year, and now we all have to rely on Ethan to make a living. Only by flattering Ethan's wife can Leo's position remain secure. Are you here spreading rumors about Ethan to ruin Leo?" I wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth, slowly turned my head, and met Leo's gaze. Perhaps my look was too terrifying, as Leo frowned, a flicker of panic flashing in his eyes. Seeing the strange look in Leo's eyes, Luna cast me a resentful glare, pointed at my nose, and scolded, "Helena, you ungrateful wretch, Leo has already agreed to take you in, yet you don't appreciate it and dare to bite the hand that feeds you. Even if you harbor resentment towards Leo, you can't take revenge on him like this." Hearing this, I seemed to be transported back 3 years. No matter what I did, Luna would always twist my words and explain them to Leo. At first, Leo would scold Luna. But later, he would follow Luna's words to blame me. Just like now, Leo scolded me harshly out of frustration, "Jealous woman. However, this time, he didn't continue to scold me as he used to. After a moment of silence, Leo took out a check for 200,000 and placed it in front of me. For the sake of our past relationship, I won't do anything to you. Take the money and buy yourself some decent clothes. If you don't like taking care of the child, in a few days I'll help you find a respectable job. Don't worry, ever since Ethan took over the company, this amount of money means nothing to me. Leo's condescending attitude made me sick to look at. It seems he's been doing quite well lately. To the astonishment of everyone, I pushed away Leo's hand holding the check, took back my bracelet from Luna's hand, and smiled as I said, "No need, Leo, I don't accept things from strangers." Ignoring Leo's face turning as red as liver, I turned and started to walk away. But after only a few steps, Leo grabbed me firmly and asked coldly, "Helena, you won't even take the money I give you?" "What do you mean? Am I a stranger?" I replied, "Since we've already broken up, it's better not to have any contact to avoid misunderstandings." I thought of my somewhat jealous husband. Leo glanced at Luna with a knowing look. "The company is hosting a dinner for Ethan in 3 days, and I plan to take you there to broaden your horizons. But you need to buy a decent outfit, so you don't embarrass yourself." Before he finished speaking, I politely declined, "It's really not necessary, thank you." Hearing my refusal again, Leo grew somewhat annoyed. His hand holding the check froze mid-air, his teeth grinding together. "Helena, you've grown up now, and as they say, poverty makes people irritable. If you don't want to go, fine, I'll take Luna." Hearing that Leo was going to take her to the banquet, Luna's eyes lit up, and she quickly said, "Leo, I will behave well and definitely won't embarrass you." I was unwilling to get entangled with them any longer, so I turned and strode away, leaving behind one sentence before I left. "I hope that 3 days from now, you can still be this confident." I quickly left the arrival hall, breathed in the fresh air, and the nausea churning in my stomach finally subsided considerably. 3 years ago, my family arranged for me to go abroad for a blind date. Under the pressure from my parents, I begged my boyfriend Leo, whom I had been with for 7 years, to register our marriage, planning to make the marriage a done deal. Leo agreed. But unexpectedly, at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, I not only waited for Leo, but also for his true love, Luna. Luna's child needs to be registered, so I have to marry her first. Wait until I get the divorce certificate in a month, and I will marry you immediately. It's just for the child, don't overthink it. Watching Leo hold Luna's hand as they walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau, I completely lost hope. That night, I took a flight abroad for a blind date. A month later, I held a wedding and married Ethan, and a year later, I gave birth to our first child. A few days ago, I found out I was pregnant with our second child. If it weren't for accompanying Ethan to pay respects to our ancestors, I wouldn't have come back to the country this time. Let alone run into Leo. 3 days later, I put on light makeup, dressed casually, and came to the banquet alone. The moment Leo saw me, his eyes lit up, and a smug smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "You say you won't come, but your body is quite honest. But if you want to chase after me, at least let me be comfortable. In occasions like today, you have to dress appropriately to match my status." I ignored his sudden narcissism and tried to walk past him towards my seat. After just a few steps, I was grabbed angrily by Leo. "Helena, I'm talking to you, did you hear me? Our seats are here, where are you going?" I shook off his hand and said calmly, "This is your seat, my seat is over there." Following my gaze, Leo looked towards the main seat, his expression turning very unpleasant. Luna gave me a venomous glance, pointed at my bracelet, and shouted, "Helena, how did you sneak in? Are you here to cause trouble? You, how dare you wear that bracelet?" Her voice was loud, instantly drawing everyone's attention. "Isn't that bracelet the true heart eternal that Ethan spent a fortune to buy for his wife? Today is the first time Ethan has appeared with his wife. Are you trying to put a wrench in Ethan's wife's debut? Sneaked in? Are you trying to embarrass us in front of Ethan? Leo, is this your friend?" Leo saw that I hadn't looked at him directly, tightened his sleeve, and calmly said, "No. Hearing this, Luna's expression brightened, and she looked at me arrogantly. Take off the bracelet and get out. I looked at her with amusement and sneered, are you sure you want me to leave? Luna lost face, her eyes hardened, and she angrily said, what are you pretending for? Take off the bracelet now. Saying this, she tried to come over and pull off my bracelet. I opened the hand she grabbed and stepped back to avoid her approaching me. Unexpectedly, someone tripped me. I was stunned from the fall. Luna stomped on my foot and forcefully tore the bracelet off my wrist. This kind of trash, yet you treat it like a treasure. My arm ached painfully from being stepped on, and my wrist was mangled and bloody. I just stared blankly at the broken bracelet and the scattered gems all over the ground. Pick her up and throw her out, Luna said arrogantly. People immediately gathered around. Seeing someone trying to grab my hands and feet, I struggled and hurriedly said, stop, I am Ethan's. Slap. Before I could finish, Luna slapped me across the face. Are you going to spread rumors again that you're Ethan's lover? Do you even deserve that? After saying this, Luna, still not satisfied, slapped me again with the back of her hand. This time I returned to the country without intending to argue with her, because it was unnecessary. But now, I will definitely make her pay the price. Leo squatted in front of me, trying to touch the wound on my wrist, and I immediately instinctively dodged. He looked at me coldly. Helena, have you had enough of causing trouble? You came after me today wearing a bracelet and dressed like this. Isn't it because you can't bear to see me succeed and want me to be jealous for you? As long as you beg me, I'll agree. I sneered and looked at him, saying, Leo, you're finished. Leo frowned, about to speak, but suddenly the scene grew quiet. The guests at the venue began tidying themselves and gathering toward the entrance. Leo hurriedly pulled me up and whispered, Ethan is here, behave yourself. Don't worry, Luna and I are already divorced. It was baffling. Rubbing my hand that was almost crushed, I could only find the man in front of me utterly detestable. Whether you are divorced or not has nothing to do with me. At that moment, Ethan entered like a star surrounded by admirers, holding his son. When they reached the hall, the son fussed and wanted to get down from the man's arms. The delicate little child landed on the ground, instantly drawing the attention of everyone present. The nanny behind him followed closely, afraid he might fall. Leo suddenly turned to me and said, Helena, if you stop being jealous and provoking Luna, I can forgive you for disappearing for 3 years. I can give you a chance to have a child for me, a child that belongs to both of us. I said nothing, trying to catch Ethan and the child's attention in the crowd. Finally, Ethan followed the child's steps and came to me. The boy, expressionless before, showed some panic the moment he saw me again and ran into my arms. Mom, what's wrong? Who bullied you? Why is there so much blood on your hands? At the sound of Mom, everyone present shifted their gaze from the son to me. The guests who had just coldly watched me being bullied all widened their eyes in disbelief. My son's embrace was as warm as ever. The gloomy mood from just now was completely swept away. I crouched down so my son could look me in the eye. Then I reached out and gently pinched his round face, full of affection. Mom is fine. My son, feeling distressed, took my hand and softly blew on the wound, his eyes slightly moist. Mom, who exactly dared to treat you like this? Children are just children, seeing an adult hurt makes them tear up. My son's expression showed how deeply he felt for me. Just as I was about to comfort him, Ethan came walking toward us from behind. It was clearly just an unintentional approach. But the oppressive aura around Ethan felt as if the air around him was being compressed. People nearby automatically made way for him. Although I didn't see Ethan, the cold feeling behind me gave me goosebumps all over. Ethan must be angry. Since I became pregnant with my second child, the morning sickness has been severe, completely different from when I was carrying my son. Ethan would love to stick to me 24 hours a day. If it weren't for this matter, he wouldn't have let someone from the branch office come to pick me up. If I had known I would run into Leo, I wouldn't have stubbornly returned to the country early. Sensing the man's gaze behind me, I held my son and turned around. My son's white t-shirt made the wound on my wrist even more shocking. Ethan just gave me a look. The son I was holding started fussing to get down. Dad, someone bullied Mom. Let's get revenge for Mom. Ethan stepped forward and gently took my wrist to examine it, his face darkening. Helena, what happened to you? When I'm not by your side, you always get hurt. Who is that careless thing that dares to hurt you? Looking at Ethan, who looked like a big dog, my heart felt warm. But I don't always get hurt. Ethan's protective instincts are really a bit too strong. Mosquito bites. Sleeping marks on my hand. Even if I eat half a spoon less, he gets extremely anxious. But I just like him this way. Caring about me like this. The banquet hall was dimly lit, but the gems on the floor sparkled faintly in the weak light. The son felt something uncomfortable underfoot. He bent down to pick up the gem on the floor. It was the largest sapphire from the Eternal Heart bracelet. The son held the gem high. Dad, isn't this the gift you gave Mom? Ethan reached out to take the gem, and after flipping it over and seeing the letters GJ, his eyes darkened with an unclear expression. Gems scattered all over the floor, and the horrifying wound on his wrist. Ethan was so angry that he deformed the nearby armrest with his grip. The lighting where I was a bit dim, so Ethan couldn't see clearly and was somewhat annoyed. Ethan grabbed a bench from behind and forced me to sit on it. Turn on all the lights. At the moment our eyes met, Ethan's pupils constricted slightly. Suddenly cupped my face. What's wrong with your face? How dare they treat you like this? I'm fine, Ethan. I responded softly, gently patting his hand to comfort him. Helena, I am your husband, and I won't let you suffer in silence. Our son quickly chimed in. We can't let Mom be bullied. It wasn't really a big deal, something I could have handled myself, maybe because I was pregnant. My voice was tinged with tears. The pent-up grievances exploded at this moment. When you're not around, they all bully me. The few people who had gone with me to the airport were trembling and had to hold on to the table. The so-called sycophant Helena they had been mocking for days was actually Ethan's legitimate wife, Helena. The few of them were filled with regret. I was clearly wearing that necklace. I had clearly emphasized multiple times that I was Helena. Realizing they had offended a big shot, these few people just wanted to find a place to hide. Luna's best friend Jenna suddenly spoke up. Helena, where did you find these two actors? The acting is so good, do you want Luna to help them find an agency? After all, you're so poor you can't even afford clothes. I have a set I've worn before. If you don't mind, I can give it to you, so you won't embarrass yourself. Jenna arrived late and didn't see the scene where Luna was flattering her son. Though called a best friend, Luna actually just treated her like a follower. Jenna had no idea what Ethan and his son looked like. She dressed up carefully just to fish for a wealthy husband here. The most important thing about fishing for a wealthy husband was to please Luna. As long as someone bullied me, Luna would be very happy. Jenna didn't know what she was thinking and suddenly burst out laughing. In the past, at this moment, many people would join in and speak along with him. But the people around stared at her as if she were an idiot. This made Jenna feel a bit uneasy. That guy over there, I think you look pretty good. If you leave Helena, I might consider keeping you. Jenna's words made the corner of my mouth twitch. Trying to steal Ethan away from me right in front of me? I didn't know whether to admire her courage or think she was utterly foolish. Anyone with eyes can tell that Ethan is no ordinary person. Ordinary people don't have this kind of aura. Ethan laughed angrily at Jenna's words. If I said I was keeping him, he would definitely be happy, if it were another woman. He would only think that the other party had lived long enough. Over the years, to give me enough security, those who wanted to sleep with him or secretly flirted with him either disappeared without a trace or were sent to Africa to be wives for black men. Jenna sensed the atmosphere was wrong and immediately moved close to Luna. But Luna had no intention of getting involved with her now. Seeing Jenna approach, she immediately slapped her, knocking her to the ground. Jenna, how dare you offend Ethan and Helena? I think you don't want to survive here anymore. Jenna, holding her face, stood dazed on the ground after being hit. Luna's words kept echoing in my mind. I muttered to myself, Helena is Helena, I've offended them. Jenna also knew that Ethan was notoriously protective of his wife. The thought of her possible fate made her whole body tremble uncontrollably. Oh my God, look at her skirt, someone in the crowd exclaimed, and everyone's gaze shifted to Jenna's lower half. She was so scared she had wet herself. Ethan frowned slightly, and the bodyguard beside him immediately understood and dragged Jenna away. Luna and Leo's faces flushed red. Although it was Jenna who was dragged out, everyone in the circle knew that Jenna always spoke in line with their thoughts. The guests stared at them as if they were watching clowns, their faces full of disdain. Beside me, the doctor Ethan had found was applying medicine to me. Hiss. Just that sound, and the looks from my son and Ethan were murderous. Can't even apply medicine properly? The doctor was so frightened that his hands kept trembling. I pretended to be angry and glared at Ethan and my son. Helena. Mom. The father and son immediately looked at me with grievance. I sighed helplessly. All right, the doctor is helping me, don't be like this. With my soothing, the doctor's mood visibly relaxed quite a bit. After the examination was complete, he slowly spoke to Ethan. Ethan, the lady is doing well, and there are no issues with the baby in her belly. The injury on her hand is somewhat serious. I will find the best medicine to try to leave no marks on the lady's hand. Ethan remained silent. Only I knew this was a sign of his anger. Leo, the culprit, was a bit nervous. After all, who would have thought that his sycophant would actually become his boss's wife? Seeing Ethan and me being intimate, a nameless fire burned in his heart. That faint yet unmistakable possessiveness reached its peak at this moment. But for the future of the song group, he could not lose control. Ethan stood beside me, looking like a superior as he stared at the guests present. His serious expression somehow made him look adorable. And next to him was his son, who was like a carbon copy of him. The more I looked, the more amusing it became. I hope you will voluntarily tell me what has happened these days. If I investigate on my own, those present might end up dying a miserable death. This was nothing short of a blatant threat. Everyone present was there to win Ethan's favor, so they had all scrambled to attend the banquet. Offending Ethan for Leo was definitely not a wise move. Leo looked flustered and was the first to speak. Ethan, this is all a misunderstanding. As Helena's fiancé, I just wanted to catch up with her, but an accident happened. There was a hint of jealousy in Leo's tone that he himself hadn't noticed. Clearly, bringing up the fiancé at this moment was hitting Ethan's sore spot. But men have these strange and peculiar desires to win. Leo is just like that. Even though he once abandoned me, as long as he needs me, I should return to his side. During the time I was abandoned, I still remained pure for him. He always thought I would love and like him just as before. Leo completely ignored Ethan's expression. But I clearly heard the sound of the glass in Ethan's hand cracking. Leo continued speaking to himself. Ethan should also know how much Helena loved me back then. Isn't it normal to reminisce? The cup in Ethan's hand shattered into pieces, and I saw his hands covered in blood. I was filled with regret. Leo, stop flattering yourself. If you keep trying to drive a wedge between Ethan and me, don't blame me for being harsh. Did I just give you too much face? In this life, I only love Ethan. I scolded Leo while tending to Ethan's wounds. Leo looked hurt and spoke slowly. Helena, I know you resent me, but Luna and I are already divorced. That child will call you Mom from now on. You married him just to spite me, didn't you? I don't mind. You divorce him, and we'll get married. What Ethan can give you, I can give you if I try hard enough. As long as you're willing to come back and be a nanny for my son, take care of him, he will acknowledge you too. If you don't like Luna, I'll let her go. Leo's shamelessness really shattered my worldview. Ethan's blood was stuck on me. But at this moment, seeing me worried about him, the man actually laughed out loud. I glared at him angrily. What are you laughing at? Ethan reached out with his other uninjured hand and rubbed the top of my head. Helena, you just said you like me the most. My son's mouth twitched. His father, who dominates the business world, was now acting tender like a little wife. It was really unbearable to watch. The guests at the scene were more shocked than anything else, but mostly envious. Helena actually managed to tame Ethan like this. Ethan's reputation as a wife-pampering maniac is absolutely real. Leo, seeing that I ignored him, became somewhat angry and embarrassed, clenching his fists tightly. My son didn't indulge Leo either. Nanny? My mom is the little princess at home. You think you deserve that? Mom only has 2 children, me and my sister. That secret illegitimate child of yours dares to call himself Mom's child? I've heard about you. How can a scumbag who hurt Mom's heart compare to my dad? You're not as handsome as my dad, not as tall as my dad, and not as well built as my dad. My son looked Leo up and down with disdain, then pinched his nose. And he reeks of poverty all over, making it hard for me to open my eyes. That illegitimate son won't be like the uncle, a coward who relies on women, right? The surrounding guests laughed heartily in support. Leo bit his lower lip hard, his chest heaving violently with shame and anger. Everyone knew that he had only reached his current position by relying on the Lin family's resources. Luna had already lost her reason at this moment. Her child was the best in the world. She had thought Leo would let me be the nanny for her. But later, he actually wanted me to take Luna's place. To become the child's mother. Jealousy overwhelmed her reason. Luna grabbed a nearby fork and crazily lunged at her son. You little bastard, I'll kill you. The sharp pain in my back made my face turn pale. Son, you. Before I could even say those 3 words, I fainted to the ground. Just as Luna rushed towards my son, I let go of Ethan and hurriedly shielded my son beneath me. While unconscious, I saw the panic on my son's face. I originally wanted to tell him not to cry. But before I could say it, I lost consciousness. The smell of disinfectant in the hospital stung my eyes as I opened them. I looked down at the hospital gown I was wearing, feeling somewhat dazed. My best friend Kitty, seeing that I had woken up, was overjoyed and immediately came forward to hug me. Helena, you've finally woken up. If you don't wake up soon, those 2 little devils at your home are going to turn City A upside down. From her description, I just thought it was an exaggeration. I instinctively touched my belly and looked at Kitty with a worried expression. Before I could speak, she understood my meaning. Don't worry, you and the baby are both fine. The doctor said you just fainted from shock and the pain from the wound. That Luna is so vicious, she actually went after a child. Mentioning my son, the relief I just felt tightened again, and I hurriedly asked, how are my son and Ethan? Perhaps I had been lying down for too long, my voice was a bit hoarse because I suddenly spoke. Uncontrollable coughing. Kitty hurriedly gave me water and helped me pat my back. Don't worry, they're both fine. Drink slowly, no one is competing with you. You were still too impulsive. With so many bodyguards, there's no way Ace would get hurt, no need for you to block for him. After drinking the water, I finally caught my breath. That's Ace. Got it, he's your precious son. That little thing is as poisonous as anything, he doesn't need your protection at all. I automatically ignored my best friend's complaints about her son and asked her again, why haven't I seen the 2 of them, father and son? Kitty immediately perked up. Of course, they went to get revenge for you. I wanted to go too. But your husband and son are too terrifying, so I stayed here to keep you company. I pretended to be displeased and said, what? Do you feel wronged by keeping me company? My best friend looked at me speechlessly. I don't even want to talk about you anymore, Helena. When I arrived, you were already unconscious. From the bits and pieces I heard from the people around, I also understood what had happened. Your sweet, soft little cake turned pale when she saw you collapse. Ethan's gaze was downright murderous. If that weren't his son, I would have suspected Ethan wanted to kill Ace. You know, after you were sent to the hospital, Ace took a fork and stabbed Luna's hand hard. I don't even know where a child could get such strength. Later, Ethan found out everything, the slap Leo gave you 3 days ago, how he broke the gift he bought for you, and how Luna and the others humiliated you. Then he ordered the bodyguards to hold Leo down and chop off the hand he used to hit you. Your son watched without blinking, truly a terrifying little king of hell. And also, Leo's face was slapped into a big pig's head. Luna had tried to snatch your bracelet before, right? Ethan directly ordered the bodyguards to bring in a basket of jewels and told her to eat them all. You know what Ethan said at the time? Since you love snatching other people's things so much, I'll satisfy you. The gems, and the man too. Your man is really arrogant. When Luna refused to eat, he brought her son over, and then she swallowed a lot of diamonds. After being left half dead, Ethan had someone slash her face, and in front of her, he broke her son's wrist. In the end, she was thrown into the open sea. Those who looked at you coldly at the scene were also dealt with by Ethan. Each of them has a fierce scar on their wrist, just as punishment for their cold indifference towards you. Otherwise, if I were your best friend, I might have suffered too. Kitty pretended to wipe away tears, trying to gain my sympathy, but all she got was an eye roll from me. Although there were many reporters present that day, the only news that got out was about the bankruptcy of the Song family. The companies on site had their overseas markets completely monopolized by Ethan. They either went bankrupt or were severely weakened. Right now, Ethan and the little devil are busy searching for Leo's whereabouts. Originally, Leo was also supposed to be sent to the high seas, but he and Luna must have made some kind of deal. Luna desperately blocked the bodyguards, buying him time to escape. That deal was actually not hard to guess. A mother's love is fierce. Leo must have said something about that child. Luna swallowed so many stones and wasn't going to live much longer anyway. Her only concern left was the child. Ethan is usually cold, but if my son and I get even a little hurt, he feels deeply guilty. Although his methods are ruthless, I don't feel afraid. It's just that a good son was still led astray by his father. I originally wanted to ask about other things. At this moment, the hospital room doors were suddenly pushed open, and 2 big men who saw me wake up immediately rushed to my side. Ace pushed his godmother aside like that. Helena, you finally woke up. Are you feeling unwell? Don't worry, I've dealt with those who bullied you. Ethan's eyes were red, and I had only been lying down for 1 night. Why are those 2 acting like they haven't seen me in decades? I'm fine, Ethan, don't worry. Then I looked at my son and spoke softly. Son, did Dad scold you? My son was stunned, and feeling wronged, he pouted his little mouth and tears fell. No, Dad didn't scold me. Lying. I hate it most when my son lies to me. But the child still insisted that Dad didn't scold him. I know Ethan's personality well, my son must have been scolded by him. I gently held my son in my arms to comfort him, then gave Ethan a sharp look. Ethan, feeling guilty, stood there somewhat at a loss. Mom, I will never let you get hurt again. This time it's all my fault, I'm sorry, Mom. Looking at this handsome son, my heart is melting. Protecting Ace is also what a mother should do. Mom isn't mad at you. My best friend left with her son, leaving only Ethan and me. The hospital room was left with just Ethan and me. The man stubbornly insisted on taking off the hospital gown to check my wound. The doctor had applied gauze, so nothing could be seen. Ethan imitated his son and acted spoiled. Really, I'll show you then. Ethan gently blew on the wound, and I just felt a ticklish sensation. Helena, I promise there won't be a next time. I smiled helplessly, this incident had indeed made him uneasy. All right, I believe you. Ethan is my greatest love, and I cherish my life because I want to be with him forever. Because of my words, a smile appeared in Ethan's eyes. Just like a child, so easy to coax. Even though we could have gone home to rest, Ethan and our son insisted I stay in the hospital. They even brought a whole group of doctors to repeatedly check my health. They only let me leave the hospital when they knew I was as well as I could be. As I was packing my things, the door to the ward suddenly opened. Since I was facing away, I thought it was my son. Ace, go get Mom's comb. Helena, it's me. My hands paused as I was tidying my clothes, and when I turned around, I saw Leo, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. His face was still badly swollen. What do you want with me? Leo must have his own way of evading Ethan's bodyguards. With the previous Luna, I was somewhat hesitant to act rashly. Leo seemed to sense my mood and hurriedly spoke. Helena, don't be afraid, I won't hurt you. But what exactly? I asked irritably. I still love you, Helena. The very thought of you marrying another man and having children is unbearable to me. You still have feelings for me too, right? We can completely start over. Leo was covered in wounds, but he had clearly tidied himself up. He was wearing the suit I once gave him. I remember back then he said the suit looked ugly and cheap. Leo saw I was silent and tried to reach out to hold my hand, but I recoiled in disgust. Start over? Leo, when you kicked me out of the civil affairs office and made me a laughingstock, did you ever think about today? Now you say you love me, that you like me, don't you find that disgusting? Leo hurriedly explained, Luna is pregnant with my child. I can't just ignore it, and you wouldn't want to see the child grow up without a father, would you? I sneered coldly. You really have no shame. The child just suddenly appeared? If you could control your lower half, you wouldn't end up with a random child. Still making excuses for your mistakes, aren't you pathetic? You're rotten like trash, why would you think I'd ever look back? Before Leo could say a word, he was pushed down by the arriving bodyguards. Ethan also looked exasperated. Leo, you really don't want to die fast enough, do you? Ethan's eyes darkened. After confirming I wasn't hurt, he told the bodyguards to drag him away. Ethan, do you really think she loves you? You're nothing but a substitute to me. After Leo said this, he was knocked unconscious by Ethan. It's not that he hasn't heard about the matter between Leo and me. After all these years of marriage, Ethan still lacks a sense of security. He always feels that I don't love him that much. Watching Ethan's departing back, I only feel heartache. As for Leo, always trying to drive a wedge between Ethan and me, I wish he would just die. When I came home at night, I stared absent-mindedly at the wedding photo on the wall. Ethan in the photo was full of love, while I looked indifferent. Our marriage was just a union, and there was indeed some impulsiveness at the time. But after all these years together, I have long since fallen for this man. After I took down the wedding photo from the wall, I discovered a secret behind it. Behind the huge frame were all my photos. Did he like me even before I knew Ethan? There were even pictures of me handing out flyers during my college part-time job. There were some from right after high school graduation too. As soon as Ethan got home, he saw his wife sitting on the sofa looking at the secrets he had hidden away. A little scared, he walked over. Helena, how come you? The man looked like he had done something wrong, not daring to look at me. I felt like teasing him. If you liked me so much, why didn't you pursue me earlier? We missed out on so much time. Because I ended up meeting that scumbag Leo. The photos are really well taken, I like them a lot. Ethan was momentarily stunned, unable to believe his ears. Helena, don't you blame me? Blame you for what? I asked, puzzled. I'm a pervert spying on your life. Nonsense, you're not a pervert at all. Seeing these just fills me with love. The usually serious man actually shed tears. Helena, I don't dare to ask you to love me, I just want you to stay by my side. You're talking nonsense again, you're my favorite, my heart and eyes are full of you. I don't understand why Ethan is so insecure. He is clearly an outstanding person. I hired a few detectives to investigate his past. It turned out that he was abandoned by his biological parents and then met his current adoptive father. Men don't know how to take care of children, so they are always cold. Ethan always feels that this adoptive father doesn't like him either. When he was in school, because he didn't like to talk, his classmates didn't like to associate with him either. In high school, I often saw him eating plain rice alone. I thought his family was poor. So I stuffed a wad of money into his backpack. From now on, you are Helena's brother to me. This is the payment for you to be his underling. I don't know his name, and giving him money is just out of pity. I just never expected that the person back then was Ethan. Because of these experiences, although Ethan loves me, I always feel an inexplicable barrier between us. Even though we already have 2 children. I think I will spend my whole life showing this insecure and sensitive man just how much I love him.